Hey, Sledge. Hey, Nikki. Hey, George. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Whoo, Labor Day. U.S. Labor Day is today. If you didn't know, the normal stock market will not be open. Somehow, some people miss that fact, but just want to let everybody know. Get the announcement out there. The U.S. markets are not going to be open like normal, but you know what? The futures are actually open. Got an early close today. So the futures market is moving. If you didn't know, like I always look at the U.S. futures, and we can briefly touch on that. But the intention here today was to do a crypto special. So welcome, Jason, Michael. Good morning, everybody. Happy Labor Day. We've got I got a few things I got to do today, but as we talked about Friday, my girl child's birthday was yesterday. Had a nice dinner out on Saturday and Sunday. Lots of going out, lots of family. And then today, well, catch up on some things. That's what we're doing today. We're doing a crypto special here, and then I got a few things to catch up on. Then maybe, I guess, later on this evening we have a Scout family cookout deal at the park. So I was trying to think of what to call it. They call it a court of honor, but it's also a family cookout. So I'm not sure what we're actually calling it, but anyway, that's my life today. Anyway, disclaimer: all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Remember, especially crypto, past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, and fun. Get my tongue tied here. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. If you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. If you're tuning into this webinar and you're not a subscriber and you want to chat on the live stream with all these fine folks chatting with me, all you got to do, click the subscribe button right down over here, where the monster can is. Click that button and you can chat in just a few seconds later. No other requirement. Now, if you're tuning in later after I'm no longer live, you're going to have to leave a comment down below. And thanks for tuning in and watching today. So, jumping into, let me pull up the correct view so we can actually talk about this intelligibly. There we go. And flip it back over here. There you go. That's the total market cap of crypto based on TradingView. I use TradingView charts if you're unfamiliar. These are TradingView. So this is the, thanks motorcycle. This is the total market cap of crypto right here. And usually there's a pattern where we see 3-day weekends during a bullish cycle, which if we look at the year-to-date performance, that's fairly bullish so far. We run the number here from the December 31st up here. Yeah, we're up 36% in the total market cap of crypto. That's pretty bullish. Pretty bullish. Now, 3-day pattern is for a bullish move during bullish times. It just happens more often than not. And right now, we just go look at it. Friday here, Saturday, bullish, Sunday, bullish. Today, jury's still out on what happens today. So far, that's kind of a bullish move over the 3-day weekend cycle. Now, I didn't, if you've heard me say that before, there's no judgment on what constitutes a bullish move, but that so far is bullish. We're coming up a little shy of the 1-hour roadmap line. The roadmap line works on all time frames. If you want that on your chart, link is in the description. It's like $5, gets the code, gets a watch list, all sorts of stuff. And if you don't even want to pay, like I said, you don't have to pay. I mean, don't give people money. Don't put money on things. There's a video that gives you that if you're willing to do a little bit of work yourself. I mean, otherwise, buy the $5 thing. I mean, I take the work out of it. So then you can come join me in Discord and all sorts of stuff. So there's advantages of giving me a little bit of money. Now, what do we got here? Last week we had a diversion. We had that SEC ruling, it kind of caught the market by surprise, it looks like. We went up and we took it right back. That's what that looks like to me. That news that came out Monday may have actually been news that moved the market. Or I mean, Wednesday, I guess it was Wednesday, whatever day it was. Tuesday, yeah. Get my days all blended together last week. So Tuesday, that SEC news came out, or I guess DOJ ruled against the SEC. Pop, couldn't hold it, took it right back. Now look at that move. That's not like a trending move down. It all looks corrective. That was a fast move up, barely a subwave. Not really bullish. So this, it could be 5 down, but it's hard to see the proportions in there right. Now, where do I see this going? I'm sure this is super boring right now, but diving into, I like to look at the total market cap. Why? When we look over here, right up here, this is coin market cap. Bitcoin's dominance, 48.9%. Ethereum, 18.9% of the market cap of crypto. They have a little different number for the market cap because they have 1.8 million cryptos in their total. So they have a 1.1 trillion, and they actually say we're up 5% in the last day. So thing about crypto, though, there's no centralized exchange, so when's the day roll over? You got all the time zones around the world, 24 of them, and whose time zone is the midnight for crypto? You could say UTC, but not everybody agrees UTC. So depends on where you define your day for crypto to what it's doing for the day. As you can see here, this one saying 5% up for the day, while we see coin market cap on TradingView down a bit for the day, and down 1.18%. And slightly different. They're coming in at 1.02 trillion, whereas coin market cap coming in at 1.1 trillion. It's all, this is the stuff you get into similar to Forex. When you look at Forex, the market cap and volume and stuff like that varies by exchange because there's no centralized exchange. So if you're unfamiliar with how that all works, you just have to wrap your head around it a little bit and just remember that there's no centralized clearinghouse except for the blockchain. Bitcoin's blockchain is the centralized clearinghouse. Ethereum's blockchain is the centralized clearinghouse. So no matter what all these exchanges price this thing at, and the blockchains are just a list of transactions. They're not priced in US dollars. Like Bitcoin's priced in Bitcoin. Ethereum's priced in Ethereum as far as the transactions go. So a little bit of math goes into averaging together the exchanges. Now, if you're like, how do you know some coins exchange? Where are the popular exchanges? But you can go to a place like CoinMarketCap like this and click on something like Litecoin. This one's been fairly bullish lately. You're like, okay, where do you trade? Well, right down here, they list the markets. These are the exchanges, the popular ones for Litecoin. And turns out Binance, probably the biggest exchange. You can look at the 24-hour volume. You can sort it by that. There you go. Bit4x actually pushing 32 million. BitsPay, top credit. So these are actually showing a little more. And we see the double asterisk, which says excluded from the overall volume calculation right there. And then these are, see, they have a price calculation excluded from the overall price calculation. So not all exchanges are created equal as far as they're concerned. And then some of these are Litecoin to Bitcoin, Litecoin to Binance, Litecoin to US Tether, Tether, Litecoin to Ethereum. So they're not all priced in US dollar terms. All right. You can look at the spot, you can look at perpetual, you can look at futures, you can look at all pairs. And there's all sorts of information here. And the thing is, they don't all trade in US dollars. Like I said, like Litecoin Bitcoin right there. Supposedly $26 million of Litecoin Bitcoin have traded in the last 24 hours in that pair. And we can see the price, you know, if you go to Uno Coin, that's you're going to pay $174 a coin. If you jump down to Buddha, you're going to $38 a coin. If you can pay an ARS, that shows that a lot of supply, little demand. It's interesting, right? Priced differently in all these different denominations. Like if you have some TRY, you could get some Litecoin for 41, approximate. So these are there's some conversion that goes into these prices. So if you're unfamiliar with how this all works, that's what we're doing here today, giving a little nerdy background on how the devil crypto works. So we actually look at what they consider the top exchanges. You know, Binance, Coinbase, Binance, and it's priced in Tether, US dollars, Bitcoin, Binance USD, which is their stablecoin. You know, Litecoin, Tether, Litecoin euros. So Kraken has euros there. Litecoin euros at Coinbase. So all these exchanges have these pairs. It works a lot like Forex. So you list a pair. If people want to trade it, you got to create the market. Otherwise, there's no liquidity on it. Like the volume in Litecoin euros at Binance is only 600,000 compared to Litecoin US Tether at 23 million. Litecoin Bitcoin at only 2 million. Litecoin Binance USD, their stablecoin at 2.4 million. So these are, you want to go, this is why I tend to pick more liquid exchanges where I hang out as far as my crypto transactions go, if you're going directly to crypto. Now, if you're using proxies to crypto, the market's wide open. You know, lots of different options here. We'll talk about some of those proxies to crypto here in a few minutes. But Litecoin actually has a pretty bullish chart. And if we jump over and look at that, pull this back over where I can see the names just a little better. Jump down through here. Litecoin right there. And one of the things on TradingView, if you're unfamiliar, when you type in like LTC USD, get LTC USD, get all the letters, you can pick your exchange you're grabbing data from. Spot market at Coinbase, spot market at Binance, spot market at Bitfinex, spot market at Bitstamp, Kraken, G-Mini, Gemini. And sometimes some of these have a TradingView, right here, Litecoin at TradingView. They kind of do their own cross broker calculation and figure out what they think the average price is for Litecoin. Now, if we jump out and look at I talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum every day, so nothing new there, no news there, nothing really changed. But this is actually, look, we bottomed back here, June of last year, similar to Ethereum. We've moved up, we've done a corrective move down. Now, this could all be part of a larger consolidation that ends up lower, but right now, the potential here, put this actually on there as I zoom up, and actually on the bottom as we zoom up. This is potentially set up like a measured bounce. Now, if we were to break above, say, these lows right in here, that would be an aggressive type entry. I would really want to see it above the roadmap line, just like everything else. Same pattern, same price patterns are price patterns. I watch the same patterns on all different charts. That's why it doesn't really matter what I look at. It's all the same price patterns. So really, I'm looking for something right up above here. And this is one of those power moves, my measured bounce type move, where if we really got going, we're talking about prices. Let me make sure this is in the right scale here. We weren't. When things move more than $50, I tend to put them in log scale. just to get the moves proportional to each other. And see, holding the 618 on the log scale potentially sets us up for a move up to this 200 area. 150 if we're just being kind of bearish. So potentially right up in here. This is why I think this one in particular is a fair opportunity. And that's almost like a little better than 3 times your money from the levels here. Now it's not really a solid entry till we're up here, which is a little better than 2 times your money. Oh gosh, double your money. So that's an entry potential. Remember, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. This is not necessarily indicative of future results, but what if it is? I don't want you to just run out there and put all your money in Litecoin. Be smart. Only use money you can afford to lose, as usual. So right there, we have this was a reasonable 5 up. It was very choppy, but it was reasonable. This is a reasonable retrace, holding the 618. If we can get the break above the resistance right there at the roadmap line. And confirmation is when we clear these highs up here. We clear these highs. It's game on. Or at least that, if not that. Now, Litecoin just had a halving event in August. That means they have their payment and they're kind of reacted negatively. This could be a perfect wave 2 catalyst for moving higher as Bitcoin's halving event kicks off next year in March-April timeframe. Now, if I just said a bunch of gobbledygook you're not familiar with, it's an aspect of crypto with proof of work. You hear about crypto mining, crypto miners, they use tons of energy, blah, 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 blah. You're solving difficult cryptographic problems. And when you're the winner, when you're the one that gets picked as the solution, you get paid in the crypto. That's the reward. That's the mine. You mined the coin. That's the terminology there. So when you get that reward, you have the coin. It's free and clear. It's paid out of the blockchain. That's circling back over to CoinMarketCap here. Like Bitcoins right here, we see the circulating supply at 19 million. Everybody talks about 21 million being the max supply. That means we've got, just under 2 million coins left to mine, left in the Bitcoin supply. And everybody's like, what happens at the end? Well, here's the beauty. With the halving thing, every so many blocks to get minted, the reward rate cuts in half. For Bitcoin, that means it's going to be like 150 years for these last 2 million, 1.5 million coins to get mined out. 150 more years. So if you think the end of crypto mining is anywhere near, no, it's not. Now Litecoin, a little different path. I don't have the numbers memorized there, but we have 84 million total, and we're at 73 million, 73.6. So a little over 10 million Litecoins left to go. Supply a little bigger, price a little lower. Litecoin's been around for a good long time, though. It's one of the long-term stable coins. It's ranked at number 15. And Polygon, if you look at that one, we're going to have 10 billion polygons out there. We're at 9 billion right now, 9.3. So we got another 700 million polygons going to hit the market. Now, there's other coins that don't have a cap, like Doge right here. They just create 10,000 Doge every few minutes. That's why there's godzillions of them. Everybody says Doge is going to $1. Well, the market has to absorb 10,000 new Doge every 10 minutes. Maybe it's even every 5 minutes. I can't remember the statistic right now. 10,000 new Doge every, and there's no cap on it. That means it just inflates forever. What happens to US dollars as we inflate them? The value goes to 0. What happens to Doge as you inflate them? Goes to 0. That's why I'm not a fan of coins that aren't stable coins that have no limit on their supply. Solana, no limit on the supply. Doge, no limit on the supply. And we can dive in, and they may say there's a limit, but if there's no hard limit in the code, there's no limit. And you can see they're saying the total supply, max supply, infinite on Solana. You can actually check these stats out. It's like Ethereum right here. They technically have no limit. So the people in charge can just inflate this sucker whenever they feel like it. And right now, it's actually deflationary. They're burning more Ethereum than is being created through the blockchain's proof of stake mechanism. They don't actually solve cryptographic problems to verify the transactions. They actually use validators that hold the crypto. There are cryptographic problems that are solved to make it part of the block, but that's not where the reward mechanism is. The reward mechanism is holding Ethereum in a wallet and being a validator, like staking it down, as they say, as they've called it, staking it down to validate transactions. This proof of stake method is unproven. It's been running for about a year, or almost a year now, and they went to that last September. And the performance of Ethereum has just kind of been lackluster since they did that. Now, think about it. All the things in life that you hear about that are worth doing, you have to work for, right? So is holding Ethereum in a staking system long-term viable if you don't work for it? I'm skeptical on that one. The jury's still out. Well, time will tell whether it's a viable system or not. It does use significantly less electricity than when we were mining Ethereum traditionally. But here's the chart. Let's go to a more clean chart so we can see it a little better. We bottomed out back here in June, similar to Litecoin. This is not quite the same looking chart as Litecoin. If we look at this, it's like one move up right there. We have a retrace here, and then we have a move right here. Now, if we can get continuation, that could be more bullish, but this not looking as bullish as like Bitcoin. Litecoin definitely has a better pattern going right now. This concerns me on the long-term price pattern for Ethereum. It seems like it's kind of become a little less awesome now that we've gone to proof of stake. And that proof of stake was right back in here. Initial enthusiasm, then a little not so enthusiasm, then riding with the coattails of Bitcoin. This one may just ride along with Bitcoin at this point. All right. So if you got questions, make sure you ask them in the chat. I can go over different things. If anything's unclear, you're wondering how this works, how it's different. Now, this sub pattern was kind of bullish. This was a kind of three-wave correction. This one could be kind of bullish. So this could be a nested pattern where we have a 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's why a lot of the times when you've seen me draw this, I draw from right here to here, looking for this zone to hold instead of pulling this fib all the way back to here. I'm looking for this to hold a nested pattern in Elliott wave speak. That could be more bullish. And if this is a 1, 2, and this is a 1, and this is a 2, of a smaller degree, then we could have a 3 of 3 coming up potentially into the halving event, which would be massively bullish. So there does exist a bullish potential in here. If we could get that flush out on down just a little bit further, sets up the next move to potentially be like this, up in this zone. Then we would get a potentially corrective move that needs to hold around 2200. And then see if I get this in the right spot. Yeah, so unfortunately though, that kind of tops Ethereum out at about 4,000 on the final move. Not the 20,000 that we had been talking about before we went to proof of stake. So, should one do an ETF rather than the Litecoin? I don't know of a Litecoin ETF. I was just pointing out a potential. I'll show you some other potential bullish charts here as we go along. Litecoin is just one that I think has good potential. Right now it's not a knife catch. Don't freaking buy it while we're still heading down. This thing can just break the pattern, crush it, and go down to 43, make a lower low, could even go down to here. All right. See my arrow over here? Like this thing could, like this is the chart that I actually showed during my crypto power plays. We have potential to go up here, but we also have potential to go down here. It's not a knife catch. It's not a, like, don't load the boat on Litecoin. Put $100 in, and maybe your $100 becomes $300. And there's some other patterns going on in here too. Lots of different patterns. Now, Bitcoin does have a very bullish pattern. And I probably had to search for a clean Bitcoin chart. I've got stuff drawn on that one, that one, that one, that one. Here's one. Relatively clean. So we've done a corrective move down here. That was the crypto winner. This happens after every halving event. Maybe like, what are you even talking about? Look, right here. You can see them right here. Like, there's one. That was after the halving event. Here's one after the halving event. And here's one. That was after the initial. This was after Bitcoin launched to the public. And there's one. And that was the original one right there. Original bullish move. Crypto winner. Everybody thought it was going to zero. Halving event. Bullish move. Crypto winner. Everybody thought it was going to zero. 2016 halving event. Bullish move. Crypto winner. Everybody thought it was going to zero. All the news stories. 2020 came around right in here. You know, a little bit of shop in there. Right here, halving event, bullish move, and now crypto winner, and all the fear and the uncertainty and the doubt. Now, we have a halving event coming up again. We've only had 4 or 3, I guess 3 in the past, plus the initial launch. This will be the 4th one. So I am projecting that we're going to see a bullish move. Now, that halving event coming up in March, April, it's not fixed in time because it's based on the blocks that get mined. So somewhere right over here, we're going to see a halving event. The last one was in May 2020, right in there. See a little dip and then rip. The one before that was in, it was June 2016. It occurred just under the way the, somewhere right there. And you see, big ramp, crypto winner. Big ramp, crypto winner. Winter is what I'm saying. So this little consolidation, got a little time to go. We get to the halving event. History has told us that we are likely to see this kind of move into 2026. 2026 will probably be another one of these. They last about a year. See, they're very consistent. Some are a little deeper than others, but they're very consistent. And actually, if we draw this on here, 50% retrace. Draw this one on here. Pretty close to 50% retrace. Draw this one on here. A little less, little smaller retrace on that one. This has potential to go out. We'll Probably run it up to whatever high that is, maybe around 200,000, 300,000. See how exciting we get. Then we'll probably come right back down to this $50,000 area. That next crypto winter probably brings us right back into that zone. All right. So, is Ethereum used as a smart contract platform? The short answer, yes. Does this make a difference in its potential value? No. Money, things that we give value to. This goes back to money theory. It's supply and demand too. Like as they mess with the supply and the demand, and smart contract platform being demand, and arguably they cut a bunch of demand by cutting out all the miners. Like when they went away from proof of work, it was the most popular non-commercial crypto mining thing. I mined Ethereum. On lots of computers. There was lots of people participating in the Ethereum network. Gas prices were high, all this new stuff, because of the payout for mining. The payout for mining was huge. It was exciting, and it was fun times. I was making $5 a day per machine that I threw onto that. I mean, it was like printing money. I could buy a $1,500 machine and have it paid for in less than a year. Then they went to proof of stake, and that all ended. And all those miners went other places. There was no reason to even keep your Ethereum anymore. And that's why we saw the price become a little unstable, and it hasn't really regained bullishness, despite it being popular with whatever NFTs or smart contracts or anything like that. Nothing there. That excitement is not being replaced by the amount of miners that we had participating in that blockchain. So I think it was short-sighted to move off of proof of work the way they did. It solved their gas problems, but at the same time, it decreased popularity of their network. So, I mean, it's all... Now, Bitcoin is incredibly difficult to mine without specialized hardware. It keeps people like me from participating in the mining, because you got to buy what they call ASICs, which are application-specific integrated circuits. They're basically chips that have been specially made to do the calculations that solve Bitcoin, solve the blockchain. And those machines cost, I mean, you can spend like $5,000 on one, and you can spend like $20,000 on one. People like Marathon Digital Holdings, right here, we can jump into their press releases. Look at what they have. They produce, in Q2, produced 2,900 Bitcoins versus 700 the year before. And they talk about in here how many Bitcoin mining machines that they have and how many they need to roll out, how many they've got on contract, how many they've purchased. It's thousands, all right? And they're ramping up their exahash. What the heck's an exahash? Well, think about it. 1 million hashes a second would be a megahash. 1 billion hashes a second would be a gigahash. All right, exahash is way on up there. I think above a gigahash is a petahash, and then exahash is above that. So, and that's how many times they're calculating that Bitcoin calculation a second. All right, we're not talking millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions, quintillions. 23 quintillion calculations a second. And that's just Mara. There's literally hundreds of thousands of other people participating in this. That's how big this is. That's why people say that Bitcoin mining sucks down a lot of electricity. Well, on average, it sucks down $21,000 of electricity just to mine a single Bitcoin, just at retail rates. Now, a lot of these companies have special rates and they've been acquiring power plants so they can get their electricity costs down and under control. We go to another place I like, BitInfo charts, right here. Jump in here. If you want to see the entire, here's the difficulty we've got on Bitcoin right now. Here's the entire hash rate, 430 exahash a second. Marathon just representing about 23 of that. So they're a pretty significant portion. But, not half, not anything like that. So we jump in here, we can look at the hash rate. You can actually zoom this up. We're on a hash rate spike right now. We went through a dip right here. We tend to go through a dip late in the month, every month. And we tend to hit a new high near the beginning of a month. August took a little longer. It didn't quite make a higher high than July. September, already getting near the high. And back here in March, it was late in the month before we got the pop. We had a dip going into the end of March. Then we had an April, again delayed. Then May, dip here, and the spike early. Then another spike right here. This is volatile, and it's all based on the pay rate. Like, what, the pay rate? So, mining profitability. This is based on terahashes, not on exahashes. So 6 cents, 6.2 cents is the current payout per terahash. Remember, 1,000 terahashes equals an exahash. You kind of run your calculations on, 23,000 times 6.26 cents. That's how much money Mara roughly makes mining Bitcoin. You can see we've been in kind of a lull here. When Bitcoin's price gets a little more exciting, this thing will pop and then bring more excitement along with it. So that's the mining economy, as you would call it. Now we're going to look at something like Litecoin. And there you can see the reward per block right there. Right now, if you figure out the next block on Bitcoin, you get paid 6.25 Bitcoin plus whatever transaction fees have been, averaging around 0.1343 Bitcoin right now, representing approximately $165,000 for guessing a block of Bitcoin. The rewards paid out the last 24 hours. They've paid out 1,013 Bitcoins plus 21 Bitcoins in fees. And that's the newly minted Bitcoins. And this was the fees you paid for your transactions, representing about $26 million converted to US dollars. Litecoin, on the other hand, after its halving event, has dropped down to the same as Bitcoin. Kind of a forked off of Bitcoin way back when. A little bit different. I can mine Litecoin. And an interesting fact is that Litecoin's network is used to secure Dogecoin's network. So actually, when you mine Litecoin, you mine Dogecoin at the same time. And you see 10,000 Dogecoin plus the transactions representing about $633. So really, if you were to mine Litecoin, you'd be getting this plus this if you mine blocks. And you can see that Dogecoin a little more valuable than Litecoin. Dogecoin can't exist without Litecoin. So Litecoin's not just going away. There's other networks built on top of Litecoin. And you can see down here, the hash rate only coming in at 788 terahash. The exahash is a bigger number than terahash. And we're seeing actually more terahashes on Dogecoin, which is odd. Yesterday it was vice versa. It was flipped. We had more hash rate. So this number must be lagging because this matches like what I was seeing yesterday. And then you can see the pay rate here. But gigahashes here are not the same as this. Different algorithm, different mathematical calculation you got to do. So, you know, winter, the next winter is coming. But this this Bitcoin winter potentially over. I think we kind of bottomed out back in November, and we're looking toward the next crypto summer, and then we'll go back into crypto winter again. So there you go. That's kind of nerding out on some of the stuff. It's probably completely boring to some of you people, but some of my lovely subscribers. Yeah, I can. We can pop onto XRP. Let's pull up a clean chart. XRP. This one. That's the market cap of XRP. Need to grab. Now, not a huge long history. Hasn't been around but since 2019. It's been mirrored in a legal battle for quite a bit of this time. Mired. Let's go to a different chart. It looks a little better, maybe. There we go. More complete. More complete. There we go. Actually, it's been around since 2017. Had some spikes. We've had some legal challenges that have been ongoing. And that was a win, and then we took it right back. That's kind of like the same situation we saw on Bitcoin, where we saw a legal decision come out. Nice pop. That, unfortunately, is looking like it may be a 5 down. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we get a 5th wave down, probably see a corrective move that holds the 618. Maybe like, wait, what are you saying, JT? Like, wait. This move right here, wave 1. Usually the 5th wave matches wave 1. That would put us right around here, around 40 cents. If this is like, if that was the wave 4 right there, you may see this final flush out. Then a retrace would be potential. Clear that off right there. A retrace up into this zone. If it holds in this area right in here and turns down again, that could be, there's the potential that this is a 1, 2, and the wave 3 would go down here, potentially even as low as 26 cents. Not particularly bullish on XRP if we make a lower low here, lower low being lower than what we saw in August. Now, if we go back over here, go look at XRP. Lots of people are super bullish on XRP. We see the market cap and circulating supply is right near the max supply. And we've got the total supply, we've got max supply, and we've got actual circulating at 52%. So they could delete the crap out of this thing, push price way down. You know, this is the max supply that's hanging out there. And this is controlled. Like, some of these are controlled by people. Bitcoin is controlled by the public. Like, the miners vote to change the code. Some of these controlled by centralized people. I mean, rewind back to the beginning of Bitcoin. The whole purpose was decentralized money. All right. Had to vote on to change the money by committee by the participants. People using it had to vote to change it. Now, lots of other coins have come out in the 1.8 million after that. And a lot of people wanted to, we're going to be just like Bitcoin, except we're going to change blah. Now, Bitcoin's hung around. It's still 48% of the entire crypto space. What do you think you're improving on Bitcoin? Now, Ethereum added the ability to use it as a base and run smart contracts and authenticate other, assets and whatnot with Ethereum. They added a feature that Bitcoin didn't have. Now, Bitcoin's kind of arguably added that with inscriptions, but Ethereum went a different path. Ethereum also has centralized control, somewhat. Vitalik Buterin and a few other people, when they decide what's happening, that's pretty much what happens with Ethereum. You as a user don't really get to vote on what happens. Now, Bitcoin, not that way. XRP, controlled by a company. There's a company that controls XRP. If they quit managing their crypto, is it going to exist? Not so sure. That's some of the stuff you'd have to dive into, look at the code, and see if it can exist outside of the company actually controlling it. So, no, okay, the question is, how does crypto relate to Mara? Mara mines Bitcoin. Marathon Digital Holdings, that's Mara. They mine Bitcoin. RIOT mines Bitcoin. Something like MSTR, MicroStrategy. These guys don't mine Bitcoin. They just hold a lot of Bitcoin. They're an investor in Bitcoin. Trying to pull up their website. They do these kind of financial healthcare solutions as their primary business. They don't mine crypto, but they do hold a lot of Bitcoin. Big supporters of it. They hold a lot of it. But if we go into their press releases and stuff, they're not mining Bitcoin. They're just buying it on the market and holding it. They hold a large chunk, like 130,000 Bitcoins. There's the investor relations. They don't have an awesome little summary. Anyway, so that's MicroStrategy. Coin, on the other hand, is a public run exchange. This is, it's a company, but it's a public company, and it runs an exchange. They hold tons and tons of different cryptos just in operating their business. So these are all different ways you can get involved in crypto, in the crypto space. You have miners like Mora, that their primary business is mining. And think about it, they're burning electricity to try to find the next block in Bitcoin and getting paid in Bitcoin. And they have, when you look over here in their results, they tell you how many Bitcoins they actually have somewhere in here. I don't see it right immediately. They recorded a net loss because they don't really bring in revenue unless they sell their Bitcoin. This company historically was a patent troll. They own a bunch of patents and they sue other people using the patents to try to make money. And then they started flipping that into crypto mining. There you go. Cash equivalents and approximately 12,538 Bitcoins. So MicroStrategy holds about 10 times more Bitcoins. Interestingly enough, Robinhood, another exchange, public company exchange, they acquired in Q2 of this year, Q2 2023, up through June, the end of June, they acquired 150,000 Bitcoins and are holding them. And that's not customer funds. They acquired those Bitcoins and they're holding them with their company money. So all of a sudden, Robinhood has become a major player in Bitcoin. Now, holding the Bitcoin doesn't make you a market participant, and you don't get the say-so of what the market does. You have to be a miner. The miners are who controls the Bitcoin network. So you have to participate in the mining to get a vote on changes to the network. All right, Rio. That's not one that I am quite familiar with, being crypto related. And I'm not sure what you're asking about Rio. You're looking at Rio USDT. Maybe RIOT is what you meant. RIOT is another Bitcoin miner. If we go to their website, Bitcoin Mining for America, they mine Bitcoin. And there you go. Their exahash is a little less than half of what Mara's are. So they're going to produce a bit less Bitcoins, and they've got contracts to they've got contracts to acquire 33,000 mining machines, with an option on a contract to purchase another 66,000 mining machines. They want to purchase 200 megawatts of electricity and cooling systems. I mean, that's 400 megawatts. I mean, that's big amounts of power. So mining on a commercial scale gets into big electricity bills. So RIOT, a miner. Mara, a miner. Coin, not a miner. That's an exchange. Robinhood, an exchange. So there's a lot of players in the crypto space. A few other opportunities, like if we look at the actual chart for Mara, this is done a measured bounce setup, reacted off of that measured bounce, come up, potentially bouncing on the top of the roadmap line. This is a potentially very bullish pattern on Mara, potentially. We need continuation back through the highs. We need to not break these lows. If we do break these lows, we're probably moving on back down to this support resistance flip line right down here, pivot, if you will, if that's the lingo you like. And we don't want to get below 8. If we get below 8, this pattern is looking mucked up and probably less likely. If we hold in this area and we go higher, this can be extremely powerful for a move up into this $20 to $30 area and potentially much higher. Now you may be like, well, what about RIOT? RIOT mucked it up and then bouncing off the bottom of the roadmap line, not nearly as bullish. We want to see the roadmap line down here, not up here. This is bouncing up, bouncing off the bottom, and may go lower. Doesn't give it that positive vibe. Now coin, another one, bounced off the roadmap line, potentially very bullish. MSTR, bounced off the roadmap line, potentially very bullish. This is definitely an opportunity that you got to pick your player. You can't just pick any player. BTBT is one I like, but right now this is looking like we may extend a little bit lower, and that's actually a lowest low on Friday. I'm watching for a reversal on BTBT because this one, on a dollar basis, has a much larger potential to go from like $2 to about $10. It's 5 times your money. I got in back at $1 and under $1. I'm already sitting at 100% profit just right here. I don't want to see this one go below 2. This one goes below 2, something else is playing out, I may liquidate my position. Yeah, MSTR, this one bouncing off the roadmap line here. Standard extensions can take us up into this $500, $550 area right up here. Lots of fib lines, lots of junk. Basically, we're just looking at this high right here to this low right there and popping up in this zone between 520 and 600. 550 roughly. And that 550 comes from back over here where we consolidated. All right. There's other players involved. Lots of other players involved. Those are just some of my favorite picks right now. Hood, potentially doing a market roadmap line bounce. Also, hasn't really caught the headlines that they have bought all those Bitcoins. Potential for that one to go out to 14, possibly 15, with an $11 price right now. So not double and triple your money, but a fair gain. I do hold a couple hundred shares of Hood, several hundred shares. Hood, hold some Mara, hold some BTBT, hold coin. Trying to remember all the positions. Hold some Square or Block, whatever you want to call it. I think that's it right now. Hold various cryptos in various capacities. Another quite bullish chart. Go through one more here. Almost been going an hour. I can talk about crypto quite a bit. It's a very nerdy subject. This chart looks particularly bullish to me. Market roadmap bounce. Beautiful potential. This is Bitcoin Cash. This was a fork off of Bitcoin, run very similar. If we go over to the BitInfo charts, we can actually look at Bitcoin Cashes right here. Turn off these other ones. You can see 25,193 bucks. This is a fork of Bitcoin. Not nearly as popular. You see there were, in the last 24 hours, 133,000 Bitcoins were moved. Only 95,000 Bitcoin Cash moved. You see the blocks are basically running in parallel. Same kind of thing. Reward the last 24 hours. A little less on Bitcoin Cash. Basically the same algorithm, slightly different. You're seeing roughly the same payout per terahash. A lot less exahash though. Interesting, eh? But this one potentially bouncing off the roadmap line, extension higher, 400, potentially 500 on the next move. The indication, the aggressive indication in a breakout above this. More conservatively, above this consolidation right in here. The levels coming in at 225, 263. Breaking above that high was confirmation, going to 400, possibly 500. If we break down below this low, something else is playing out. So there's your zone. Break above here, confirmation, moving on up. This thing spiked out at 320, 330 back here in June. Dipped back to 163 here in August. And potentially going to make the next move. There's potential 1-2. And this little baby looks like a measured bounce, potentially setting up right there. Initial move up, retrace, hold support, breakout. So there's another one, potentially bullish. I hold some Bitcoin Cash. I was going to use it for a transaction, ended up just sitting on it, and then it exploded higher from the like 90 bucks I bought it at to 320. I just kept holding on to it because this is potentially bullish. Like this move up was bullish. This has been a corrective. If we get continuation, we're looking at potentially much higher prices. And when I say much higher, we could be talking about prices up here, $1,000 area. Even higher potentially. Bigger term, this could be a bullish pattern 1, 2, and we could see a 3 that goes significantly higher. Be seeing prices up in the $5,000, $6,000 price area. So I may just hold on to my little stash. Well, you know, I go through crypto power plays every week and cover all these coins and tickers right here that you're seeing me scroll through. And that's beyond the update that I plan to do today. So we've been going for an hour, and I think I'm going to wrap it up. So enjoy your holiday. I'm going to move on to some other things. This has been your crypto special. You can, if you've got a ticker or something you want to request, tomorrow, Tuesday, 30 minutes of awesome, you can come request all the things you want, and I'll take a look at them for you. So, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning for Morning Monster when the market opens back up and we digest the weekend. So see you later. Bye for now.